We are back with another video. Before we get into the video, like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. It has been reported that Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion's WAP is officially diamond, even though allegedly it has been diamond for years. But a lot of fans are saying when your single flopped hard, so you update your plaques to cope, especially since AHA is not doing so well in the charts. A lot of fans believe that this was strategic and that Cardi B and Titanic Records purposely put out that the song WAP is diamond to distract the public from the fact that her new single is flopping. So that's what the fans are saying. Now, let me know if you guys agree or disagree. Now, it has been reported for years now that WAP was diamond, so I don't know if they were just holding to announce it for the right time or if they was waiting for it to be completely official. But it is interesting to see how, people are now talking about, oh, WAP is diamond, and Cardi B has now 4 diamond singles, which is the most out of any female rapper currently. But yet your new music is not having that same type of success, which I'm not saying that it should. But at the end of the day, it's kind of feel like Titanic Records and Cardi B are, in fact, living in the past. Now, moving on from that, Cardi B has released a total of 9 versions of her new single, AHA, across all streaming platforms. Allegedly, fans are saying she's trying to get the song to top 10 on the Billboard Hot 100. It's supposed to go top 20. But Cardi B did say, my records live in the top 10. Remember, she said that, but she hasn't really been in the top 10 like that. Outside did go top 10, though. Outside did go top 10, but she said she lived in the top 10. It seems like she, is there here and there, visits when she gets payola, but I don't feel like she lives in the top 10. You can't live in the top 10 and every song you drop don't always go top 10. Okay, that's not living there. But let me know if you think with 9 versions of her new single will help her take her to the top 10 and then she can get another hit record. I don't think it's going to work. Again, she shouldn't have dropped the week Ariana Grande is dropping. And even though people are saying Pedal is trash, even though I definitely don't think it is, Ariana is a way bigger star. She need to drop this same week as like Ckiminaj, Saucy Santana. She can drop the same week as Pissy Face Carisha, but Ariana Grande, absolutely not. Now, the truth of Scratch Off regretting going against Ckiminaj. Now, a few days ago, Brooklyn, Scratch Off's sister, responded to a post of a fan doing Nicki Minaj 2016 makeup. Now, Scratch Off's sister, who is the younger sister, responded and said, is that serious? Okay. So it looks like basically Scratch Off's sister and Scratch Off are trying to get back into the queendom, because if Scratch Off had disdain for Nicki Minaj still, I don't think that she would be commenting that, especially if her sister is beefing with Nicki. Now, last year, Scratch Off was on the Andy Cohen show, and this is what she had to say in regards to making amends with Nicki Minaj.
Topics on Twitter. Love seeing you and Ice Spice make peace. How did it happen, and will you be able to work things out with Nicki Minaj too?
Good question. Good question.
Okay, one at a time.
Yeah.
First one, girls, we just, her team reached out to my team and we was like.
The teams?
Yeah.
And you figured it out?
We figured it out.
Okay.
At first I was like,
Okay.
But then I was like,
Okay,
And
good.
then, I'm open to, rekindling with anybody.
Okay. You and Nicki you're gonna be back with Giselle's friend Nicki.
Yes, we love Nicki. We do.
I did too.
You did? Okay.
Okay.
Now, this was before Scratch Off found out that Cardi B called her a pussy, okay, in that recording that leaked last year. So this was before that. But Scratch Off believes that, it was a misunderstanding between her and Nicki Minaj. They got into it on Twitter over the fact that Nicki Minaj was calling out the Grammys for putting Super Freaky Girl before the nominations came out. But I guess she got wind that Super Freaky Girl was going to be in the pop category instead of the melodic rap category. And the pop category, that's a lot of competition, especially with rappers. And Scratch Off's Low Energy was going to be in the melodic rap category. And so she said, basically they need to be in the same category. It's not fair that, her song is in the melodic rap category, my song is in the pop category. And, I understand my song went number one, her song didn't. And I know that my song is popular, okay? And it is technically pop leaning, but so was her song. So it needs to be in the same category, basically. That's what Nicki Minaj was trying to say. Scratch Off felt some type of way about it, called her super freaky grandma, dissed her family, dragged her to filth. Then she put it on the floor, or put it in the floor, whatever the song was, with Cardi B, remember? And, she was sneak dissing throughout different songs Nicki Minaj paid her dust, until she responded to the disses in Falling For You. Go listen. LATT0, you're a chop hoe, okay? That was a diss to Scratch Off. But the point of the matter is, Scratch Off feels as though that, a battery was put in her back and that it was a misunderstanding and, she should have never really responded. And she feels like Cardi B was the real snake, because she feels as though Cardi B pretended to like her, but she really didn't. That's how Scratch Off feels. She feel like, you just don't call nobody a pussy for no reason. That is really how you felt. You just don't want the general public to know that's how you feel because you don't want to be looked at as a mean girl. Cardi B has always been looked at as somebody that likes all the female rappers, female rap unity, works with everybody. But she has shown at times that she's really a mean girl. And I think a lot of people have looked at her sideways, whether Cardi B fans want to admit it or not. But a lot of people have looked at her sideways since she got exposed for calling Scratch Off a pussy for no reason. So that's how Scratch Off feels. I don't think Nicki's interested in making amends with Scratch Off. I mean, what's the point? She's a flop. And she ain't got nothing really going on. I understand that, Nicki probably did respect Scratch Off at one moment in time, but because Scratch Off was acting like that and dissing Nicki Minaj, all because Nicki wouldn't work with her. Let's be very clear. She wanted to be on the Super Freaky Girl remix. Nicki said no, because it was only the people that congratulated her on going number one, the female rappers that did. Of course, Scratch Off felt some type of way about that. Now, Tyla, A-Pop is predicted to debut inside the top 50 on the Billboard 200 at number 43, is aiming to sell 17,000 first week. Let me know in the comments, is this a bop or flop? I low-key feel like Tyla should have probably pushed her release date back, only because I feel like it got completely outshined by Ariana Grande, okay? People were talking about Tyla's album a little bit, but then she ruined it when she put out that Chop music video that nobody wanted. Nobody wanted that Chop as a music video. And now it seems as though people are not even paying attention to Tyla. So Tyla, you got to get a remix or something to get people excited for the new era, because it seems as though people are not checking for your music like that. Okay, now that girl is fire. I like that girl. I did like 2 other songs on the album, but I don't know if it has the longevity to sustain other people dropping. You know what I'm saying? Because it feels like she was easily outshined. And obviously, Ariana Grande is a big artist, but I feel like Tyler should have still been in the conversation, considering they don't make the same type of music, in my opinion. Now, Sexy Red obviously could be trolling, but she posted a picture that basically she's announcing that she's pregnant by Drake. Some people feel like she's trolling. I don't believe that he not smashing. That's for sure. I I definitely don't believe he's not smashing. You know, if there's one thing he gonna do is smash. But my whole thing with Sexyy Red, when you gonna keep your coochie closed? Okay? Chief Keef, Drake, you already got another baby daddy getting ran through and your music is flopping. I don't know if it's worth it. I feel like getting ran through and then your music takes off, your career takes off. Now, that's a W. Look at J-Ho, no shade, and no shade of Rihanna, but she's another one. But you, I feel like you hoeing around, but the coochie management is not that great because you're giving your coochie up without getting anything in return. Okay, I understand you got like 4 Drake collaborations, probably more in the stash, but those aren't hits. You just released 2 songs with Drake. Those songs are chops, okay? You need a hit record, okay? You've fallen off a little bit. I suggest you might want to sleep with an executive that can give you a hit in payola. Drake can't get you far because Lucian Grange don't mess with Drake. So he's basically, I wouldn't say blackballed, but basically blackballed because Lucian, the biggest CEO of Universal and of the music industry, don't fuck with him. So you giving your coochie up to somebody that's not in a good standing with the industry. You should be sleeping with executives, not Drake. And it's no shade. You know, I feel like if you gon' give it up, have smart coochie management skills. You know, you gotta sleep your way to the top, not the bottom. Okay, now 2018, sleeping with a Drake would have been the top, but not when you sue Universal and your 2 other albums other than Iceman flop. You know, Habiti and Maid of Honor basically flopped, and you ain't got no hit single. You were supposed to have the song of the summer. Drake don't really got that right now. Okay, so that's the only thing, and I like Drake. You know, Drake is top 5, one of my favorite rappers of all time, definitely top 5, but he's not in good standing with the industry, Sexyy Red. So it just doesn't logically make sense. Now, she can do what she wants, and she going to continue to do what she wants, but your career is crumbling, like, right before your eyes. Like, you not hot no more. Like, what's the last hit record Sexyy Red had? Get It Sexy? That came out, like, 3 years ago, 2 years ago. What's the last hit record Sexyy Red had? She barely have any talent. So it just don't make sense to me. I'm sorry. But ASAP the colorist did an interview with Messy Lee because, you know, Messy Lee and Rihanna are close due to some blackmailing. I mean, they have a lot in common. But Messy Lee interviewed ASAP the colorist, and ASAP said that he wants to fight Drake.
Boxing match. Would you fight Drake? Bare knuckle like the Irish. You took that girl. Nah, I'm gonna tell you the story.
Now, I would pay to see that. He said that he would fight Drake bare knuckles, even though he got stabbed in the face. I would pay to see that. I'm paying. Can somebody set up a celebrity boxing match for ASAP the colorist and Drizzy Drake? Can somebody do that? Floyd Mayweather, Netflix. Come on, this is easy money. I would be there first row to see ASAP get his face knocked down. Drake, you not winning no boxing match with Drake? I don't know if I believe that. ASAP, he is a hood, right? But I don't know if I believe he really can fight. I don't know if I believe that. Now, Chris Breezy, if it was Chris Brown versus Drake, you know, because they had beef years ago due to Rihanna, same situation, Chris Brown would easily whoop Drake's ass. Chris Brown, he turns into the Incredible Hulk, okay? Cocaine Brown ain't playing around. Ike Brown gonna have you running out of town. Drake never wanted really the beef with Cocaine Bear Chris Brown. He never wanted the beef with him. He ran, okay? Like Quavo. But ASAP, I don't really know if you really got them hands like that. I never heard of you to be a fighter. A shooter, that's why you shot ASAP Rocky and got off thanks to Rock Nation. But you've never really been a fighter. You can't bring a gun to the ring. If this was a shootout, I think you would win. The ASAP mob would win against OVO against the shootout. But not when it comes to fighting hands in hands. No. So I'm a bet, like 2,000 on Drake, 0 on ASAP the colorist. And I would win big money if they ever fight. ASAP, you don't want to smoke with Drake. Now, what you could do is you can call Chris Brown to fight in your absence. I would do that. I would say, listen, I'm going to hire Chris Brown to take over for me. That's a smart idea. You need to stay at home with Rihanna and the kids. You can't fight. But anyway, let me know how y'all feel about it and who do you guys think is going to win in the ring between ASAP the Colorist and Champagne Thickums. But anyway, I got some hot tea on Patreon on Selena Taylor, David the Singer, Champagne Thickums, and Sexy Red on Patreon. Link will be in the description. I hope you guys have a great day.